So we have a few trades to talk about in today's recap, including this guy right here, Carlos Santana. He got traded to the team that he's celebrating against. A potential trade might be in the works between the Dodgers and Nolan Arenado, and also Shohei Ohtani. Well, I'm kind of running out of words to describe him, and it's probably because he's not human. All of that in today's MLB Recap, a series in which we recap every single game almost every single day. And a reminder, if you're going to any baseball games, concerts, anything like that anytime soon, save yourself 20 bucks off on SeatGeek using code Fuzzy. So let's go ahead and talk about the first trade from yesterday. This one happened as soon as I posted yesterday's recap. Carlos Santana, he is going to the Brewers for 18-year-old shortstop Johnny Severino. So Carlos Santana, he's got 37 extra base hits, 53 RBIs, and a slightly below average 98 OPS plus. He's going to be replacing Rowdy Tellez, who's on the IL right now. Now, the funny thing is, earlier in the season, Carlos Santana walked it off in Pittsburgh against the Brewers, and he had one of the funniest walk-off celebrations I've ever seen. So, again, he's going to the Brewers. And remember, the Pirates are getting 18-year-old Johnny Severino, who in 12 rookie ball games has 4 home runs and 5 stolen bases. So, Pittsburgh, they're trying to find a dual-threat superstar in the 18-year-old. So there you go, Rowdy Tellez, because he's on the shelf, they had to go out and find someone else, and they found it in Carlos Santana. This one kind of blew my mind. David Robertson of the Mets, like the actual closing pitcher for the Mets, has been shipped to the interdivision rival Marlins in exchange for, I think, an 18-year-old Ronald Hernandez and Marco Vargas. They're both under 20. So David Robertson, he's a 38-year-old closing pitcher with a 2 ERA and 14 saves. I guess Miami is hoping he can relieve AJ Puk of the save opportunities, because AJ Puk has been pretty terrible the last month. So the Marlins are going for it. They are buying at the deadline, whereas the Mets, they are selling. But the Mets, I'm actually going to give them some credit. I'm going to tip my cap. They did get a pretty decent haul for David Robertson. They got a 19-year-old catcher by the name of Ronald Hernandez. He has insane plate discipline. He has 77 walks in 116 rookie ball games, even though he's more known for his defense and arm. They also got 18-year-old infielder Marco Vargas. He has elite defensive range, and he has shown plus plate discipline at the dish. He has 73 walks to only 53 strikeouts. So honestly, even though the Mets gave away David Robertson, he was on a 1-year deal. He's 38 years old, and this was a pretty solid return in my opinion. But you don't see interdivision trades all that often, and I'm not sure if this means that the Mets are officially giving up on their $350 million disaster season. They're a couple games under 500, but there's still 50-ish games to go. So let me know in the comments, do you think that the Marlins are going to make a playoff push? Do you think that the Mets are going to fall out of contention? Because truthfully, I did not have the Mets being sellers and the Marlins being buyers and each trading with each other, 2 interdivision rivals at the 2023 trade deadline on my 2023 MLB bingo card. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this. Now, before we talk about the possibility of Nolan Arenado going to the Dodgers and Ohtani making some history, let's go ahead and see what the Mets did yesterday. Josiah Gray and Kodai Senga, they entered into a pretty evenly matched pitchers duel. They both basically had the exact same start. Kodai Senga, he lowered his July ERA to 1.8 after allowing just 1 run on 2 base hits over 6 innings, while Josiah Gray, he also went 6 innings, only allowed 2 base hits, but he did not allow a single run to score. Now, he left with the lead, but unfortunately, Washington's bullpen is complete buns. Vogelback, he tied it on a single in the 8th, and a sac fly from Mark Hanna. He plated the go-ahead run on a sac fly. The Mets' new closing pitcher, I don't know, maybe Brooks Raley, he closed it out for a 2nd save of the season. Now, after the game, there was a reaction from Mark Hanna. He flat out said, we probably should have been playing better earlier if we wanted to be buyers instead of sellers. And then we'll go ahead and show this screenshot right here. This is a snapshot of what the Mets are doing in the NL wildcard. So they're 7 games back of a playoff spot. They're 100% not going to win the NL East. That is the Braves to lose, and they're not going to go on a 40-game losing streak. So is it worth it to try and save the $350 million disaster season, or is it time to trade Justin Verlander and others? Staying with trade possibilities, rumors are swirling right now that Nolan Arenado might waive his no-trade clause in an effort to get to LA. Now, I don't know if the Cardinals are going to do this. Arenado is from California, so if he does get traded, I believe that he would waive the no-trade clause to go to a winning team in a place where he was born. Nolan Arenado is 32 years old, but he's playing the worst defense of his entire career. He has a -5 DRS. My mind was blown when I saw that stat. Regardless, he's still a monster at driving in runs and hitting extra base hits, but he does have 4 years left on his contract. I mean, you guys have to let me know in the comments. Do you think that this would make sense for the Dodgers to trade for Nolan Arenado? Because they do have some decent pitching prospects that the Cardinals could use over the next few years, like Emmett Sheehan, maybe Gavin Gavin Stone or Ryan Pepio, maybe Bobby Miller if the Cardinals get lucky. That's going to be tough though because the Dodgers are very fond of Bobby Miller. So if you guys have not already, subscribe with those notifications turned on because if a Nolan Arenado trade happens, I'm going to try and get that out ASAP. Here we go, the doubleheader between the Angels and the Tigers. We'll talk about Shohei in just a quick second because rookie Trey Cabbage, he drove in all of the Halos' first 3 runs, but because Shohei was on the bump, they only needed 1 run. Instead, they got up to 5 after a 2-run home run from Taylor Ward and eventually 6 after Ward's second of the day. Taylor Ward has 15 RBIs over his last 12 games, but like I mentioned, the Angels, they only needed 1 run in game 1 because Ohtani, he turned in maybe the best start ever of his career. Shohei threw a complete game shutout. He only allowed 1 hit, a single, to Kerry Carpenter in the 5th inning. So that's 9 shutout innings, 8 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed, and now he's about to go even crazier in game 2. Now, before Shohei teed off, the Angels as a team started teeing off in the 2nd inning with Luis Rengifo and Zach Neto combining for 3 RBIs. Over their last 15 games, Rengifo and Ward have a total of 9 home runs and 25 RBIs. And oh yeah, there's this guy. 1 after throwing a complete game shutout, Shohei Ohtani hit his MLB best 37th home run, but wait, there's more. After Eduardo Escobar teed one up, Shohei, he went yard again. On his first home run, he became the first player, I almost said human, but he's not human. He became the first player ever to throw a shutout and then have a home run in the doubleheader, but then he said that's not enough. Again, he had 2 home runs on the day, maybe the best day by a baseball player ever. He's already had a 7.5 WAR on Baseball Reference with 59 games left to go, so he could be approaching an 11-12 win WAR in this season alone. Renfroe popped off for his 16th, and the Halos ended up with 11 runs, so that's 4 wins in a row, with Mike Trout, Brandon Drury, and Logan O'Hoppe kind of all scheduled to come back over the next few weeks and get back into the mix. So can the Angels make a miracle comeback? I hope they do because I desperately need Ohtani and Trout in the playoffs. So we've talked about the Angels holding on for dear life for a chance to make the playoffs, and the Cubs, they're doing the exact same thing right now. They're going for their 5th win in a row, or maybe it was their 6th. This game was over in a flash. Chicago, they were gifted a free run on a bases-loaded walk to Dansby Swanson, and Christopher Morel, he then roped a 2-run double, his first of 3 hits on the night. The kid has 65 extra base hits, 95 RBIs, and an almost 120 OPS plus over his first 173 big league games. 2 more singles in the 3rd made it 5-zip for Justin Steele, who was great yet again, and Mike Tauchman, he kept it moving. He also had 3 base hits. He now has 33 RBIs in about 50-ish games for the Cubs. That's really good. Justin Steele, he had 4 strikeouts over 6 innings. He has a 2.87 ERA in 2023, and over his last 230 innings, he has a combined 3 ERA. He's been really impressive. This next game made me very, very happy. Cleveland's brand new number 2 hitter, Andres Gimenez, he's finally in the 2-hole over Ahmed Rosario. I'm so happy that Rosario is gone. He rewarded Cleveland for traded Ahmed. He laced an RBI double in the 1st, and Josh Naylor, he knocked in 2 more on a double of his own. Josh, he had 79 RBIs in 122 games last year. He already has 78 RBIs this year alone. He's also hitting 304 compared to 256 last year. Anyway, rookie Tanner Bybee, he was nasty again, although he did allow 3 runs, all off the bat of Jake Berger. Jake Berger's up to 24 home runs, so he just has to figure out the plate discipline. The power is absolutely unreal. Now, Josh Naylor had another RBI double, so he officially has 79 RBIs, matching his last year total in 30 fewer games. Bo Naylor, his brother, knocked in Gabriel Arias, and I bring up Arias because he started at shortstop. In back-to-back games, he has 2 base hits and a walk, so if Shane Bieber and Tristan McKenzie come back healthy, I'm telling you right now, do not count out the Cleveland Guardians. So as you guys can see, the Angels are now just 3 games back of a wild card spot. You have the Mariners on a 2-game winning streak. The Guardians are on a 3-game winning streak. They're 7-3 over their last 10, so the AL wild card is going to get crazy. Speaking of crazy, we know how crazy the NL wild card is. The Giants, the Phillies, and the Reds are in it right now. The Marlins are in fact going for it. They are buyers at the deadline. They're a half game back. So are the Diamondbacks. The Cubs, they've won 6 games in a row. They're 8-2 over their last 10. They're back to 500. They're only 4 games back. Then you have the Padres, the Mets, and the Cardinals all out of it pretty much. Maybe the Padres can make a little comeback. I don't know, but should the Padres sell? Let me know. This is going to be one of the shorter recaps of the year. There was only a handful of games yesterday, so let's go ahead and do this Immaculate Grid 200 strikeout season. I know this one because I play a lot of MLB The Show. Hal Newhouser, I know that he was a strikeout god. The Reds and the Tigers, did Eric Davis play for the Tigers? I have no idea. I'm going to go ahead and skip that one. The Tigers and the Pirates. Tigers and the Pirates. I'm going to have to skip that one as well. What about 200 strikeout season for the Rangers? I'm going to throw a curveball out there. What about this guy, CJ Wilson? I think that CJ Wilson was nasty for 1 year, and then he went to the Angels. Yes, CJ Wilson struck out 200 strikeout season for the Rockies. Did Ubaldo Jimenez do that? I know that German Marquez has done it, but maybe a lot of people would go for German because he's more modern. I'm going to go with German because I feel like he did strike out 200 once upon a time. 26%. Okay, that was a lot. I wonder what Ubaldo was. The Rockies and the Reds. Literally no one is coming to my brain right now. The Rangers and the Reds. Rangers and the Reds. Rangers and the Reds. No one. The Rangers and the... Josh Hamilton. I know that Josh Hamilton was... I think picked up by the Reds after being released by the Rays when he was picked #1 overall. So 33%. My rarity score is not going to be that good. Was there a trade? Oh, what's his name? Barnhart. Tucker Barnhart, right? Okay, Tucker Barnhart. I don't know why, but someone just came to my brain for the Pirates and the Rockies. Wasn't that guy named... Was Oliver... No. Dotel? Something like that. Octavio Dotel. Wasn't he on both teams? I don't know how I just pulled that one out. All right, the Rockies... and the Reds. The Rockies and the Reds. What's that guy's name? Dickerson. Corey Dickerson. Corey Dickerson. I'm pretty sure that Corey Dickerson was on... I don't even know, but I for sure thought that Corey Dickerson was on the Reds. I know he was on the Rockies. Oh, wait. Rockies. Oh, he could have been a Rockies and Pirates because he was on both teams, I think. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on. The Rangers and the Pirates. I know that Kenny Lofton played for a bunch of teams. I'm pretty sure that he was on both. Yeah, Kenny Lofton... The Pirates and the Tigers. Who could this be? I have no idea. So let's go to the Rockies and the Reds. I have one more guess. Rockies, Reds, Rockies, Reds. Literally no one's coming to my mind. I'm going to go with an easy pick for the Tigers and the Pirates. I know this one for sure. Josh Harrison. Okay, he was 16%. So let me see what the other picks were. Nick Castellanos could have been my Reds and Tigers. I don't know how I didn't think of that one. Neftali Feliz. Completely forgot that he went to the Pirates. We have Mike Moustakas as a Red and Rocky. You have Ubaldo Jimenez with 69%. Connor Joe. Okay, that was a harder one. That does it for today's MLB recap. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. If you're brand new, hit that subscribe button. And remember, if you're going to any games anytime soon, save yourself 20 bucks off using code Fuzzy on SeatGeek. Catch you in the next one.